It turns out I'm the CEO's biological daughter. After 3 months of being supported by the CEO, Daniel, I joined him for dinner at his old family home. To my surprise, the moment his parents saw me, they rushed over and hugged me, repeatedly calling me their long-lost daughter. They insisted on a DNA test, and the results showed I was indeed their biological daughter, while Daniel was only adopted. Both of us were stunned into silence. It was a long while before I finally spoke. So, are you still going to support me? You'll still transfer $1 million to my account every month, right? He scoffed. I think it's more fitting if you support me now. I nearly died laughing. With money, I'd get myself 20 years of male models. Who'd want to support him? I followed Daniel to his old family home for dinner. His entire family stared at me, their gazes strangely inscrutable. Frightened, I hid behind him, my eyes welling up. Uncle, Aunt, don't you like me? I wore special new clothes today. Do they think it's too rustic? Daniel Buey also looked at me with an unreadable expression. Perhaps you should take a look at what you're wearing yourself. A vibrant red, skin-tight, seductive uniform. Isn't it beautiful? I glanced down at the tight outfit with a chubby baby boy printed on it. I couldn't understand what was so odd. Could it be that Uncle and Aunt don't like red? They should have said so sooner. I also have a yellow one with a dragon print. Wearing that shouldn't be a problem either. But I never imagined what astonished them wasn't my clothes, but my face. Daniel's father, Mr. Buey, took my hand, saying I looked exactly like him when he was little. I snatched my hand back immediately, startled. Who are you scolding, Uncle? Fortunately, he wasn't angry and instead went to find a photo, pulling out a picture of himself at about 1 year old. It really did look exactly like me at 1 year old. Was I really that masculine? More importantly, seeing how shiny and bald his head was now, I immediately wanted to scream and cry. No, I had to extract more benefits from Daniel Buey. Just looking at his father like this, I knew that if I were just a young gold digger, I'd definitely not earn a penny. But I was even more surprised when they announced I was the Buey family's long-lost biological daughter and insisted on dragging me for a DNA test. The results just came in. Oh my goodness, is it true? I was completely speechless. When I was little, I once wrote a paper about having a 39-degree fever. My mom carried me to the hospital in the rain, but she just glared at me. She said she picked me up from a trash can. How could she have carried me to the hospital? What a surprise. It turns out I came from a garbage dump. I looked at the test results, then at the CEO. So, are we distant relatives? Mrs. Buey immediately waved her hand. Not at all. Daniel is the one asterisk we picked up from the trash can. It was Daniel Buey's turn to be stunned. So, everyone was just joking with me all this time? I only wondered what kind of trash could yield so many children. No, it's true, you are our biological daughter. That year we lost you and your parents went crazy searching. Then, by chance, we picked up young Daniel. Wait a minute, something's not right. I interrupted Mrs. Buey. A family loses a daughter, then picks up a son? Could it be? I shivered slightly, looking at Daniel Buey. Did you transition? How could you hide such a shocking secret from me? Daniel Buey angrily clenched his fist, then flicked my forehead. Am I a real man or not? Don't you know best? Right, well, hefty assets and good skills. Heh heh. But then I suddenly remembered something. So, are you still supporting me? You'll still transfer $1 million to my account every month, right? Immediately, Mr. Buey took out a bank card and handed it to me. An unlimited black card. You can spend freely. Dad will transfer another $100 million into it. Can you call me Dad? Daniel Buey looked serious. I think it's more fitting if you support me now. Oh, really? Then I won't support you. I nearly collapsed laughing. With money, I'd get myself 20 years of male models who'd want to support him. For this $100 million, they could ask me to call them my great-grandfathers and I'd still call them Dad. My biological father, Mr. Buey, immediately teared up. My mother also tightly clasped my hand. Call me Mom once. You can choose any house in the city center and I'll pay for it. Oh my goodness, all those days I spent praying online have finally been rewarded. Heaven, from now on, you are my grandma. My parents and I hugged tightly. Only Daniel Buey stood by, looking a bit left out. He must have just felt the hallway was too empty, that's all. My parents brought me home. As we arrived at the doorstep, I saw a woman standing there. She looked me up and down and asked who I was. Mom immediately hooked her arm around the woman. Chloe, this is your long-lost younger sister, Vanessa. This is your sister, Chloe Buey. Chloe Buey took a step forward. Already tall and wearing high heels, she looked down at me with an unfriendly gaze. I awkwardly looked over and softly called out, "Sister." She paused for a moment, then immediately ran to hug me tightly. Before I could even collect myself, she kissed my forehead. "Oh, my dear little sister, you've suffered so much out there. Don't worry, you'll have a comfortable life at home. Tonight, I'll take you out to party and find 20 muscular male models for you to watch their hot window cleaning show." Really? Just hearing it made my mouth water. Only Daniel Buey's expression grew more inscrutable by the minute. During dinner, Mom suddenly remembered that I was originally Daniel Buey's contract girlfriend. Not a gold digger, but a contract girlfriend. I mumbled to correct her. The important thing was that we had a written agreement. $1 million per month, and I hadn't received this month's money yet. Don't even think about using the girlfriend title to avoid this payment. Daniel Buey, how could you do something so outrageous? Dad angrily slammed the table. Daniel Buey just hung his head and timidly asked me, "How about we don't do the contract anymore? Be my real girlfriend instead. We're not blood relatives after all." "What are you saying?" I nearly jumped up in shock. "How can you taint our pure monetary relationship with feelings?" Chloe Buey also spoke up softly. "Even if you're not blood related, presumed familial relationships aren't allowed either." Hearing that, Daniel Buey's face turned ashen. I quickly patted his shoulder to comfort him. "CEO, we're not playing the cousins game, okay?" Daniel Buey's face darkened like the bottom of a pot, but his smile didn't fade. It just shifted from his face to mine. To make up for the years I spent struggling outside, my newly found father immediately ordered, "Shower her with love. The whole family will shower her with love." The next day, the moment I opened my eyes, I went to meet a lawyer and signed a series of documents. They transferred 3 houses into my name: a luxury apartment in the city center, a suburban farm, and a beachfront villa. My father also said he'd share company shares with me. "It was originally yours. You deserve these things." Chloe Buey both advised me to accept and took me on a shopping spree. Things I only dared to dream of before were now a reality. I still couldn't believe it, so I pinched my cheek, then asked my sister, "Mom and Dad aren't hiding some illness from me, are they?" I remembered reading foreign news about rich families using young people's blood to extend their lifespan. Chloe Buey glanced at me, then pulled out her family's entire health record for me to see. They looked much healthier than I did. I was only in my early 20s, and I didn't even have a crescent moon on my fingernails. That evening, she even specifically took me to a bar, calling for 20 male models at once, lined up neatly for me to choose from. I scanned them, swallowed hard, and finally picked the youngest and most handsome one to sit next to me. He looked like it was his first time working as a host, his face flushed. "You've never done this before, have you?" He nodded slightly, leaning close to my ear to whisper, "I don't want to either, but my parents are in poor health and my little sister is still in school." I understood immediately. A gambling-addicted father, a sick mother, a sister still in school, and a young man crushed by life. "Sister, you're different from everyone I've ever met. Can you support?" "Honey, that kind of character setup is old news. I've never introduced myself like that before." He looked bewildered, not knowing what to say. Chloe Buey, hearing this, also turned to look surprised. "Sister, have you done this kind of work before? Was life that hard?" "Well, not really. I just worked part-time at a bar as an atmosphere enhancer. I didn't drink alcohol, just danced to the music. I danced for 2 months straight without spending a penny, and it even cured my shoulder inflammation. The manager even paid me 20,000 yuan, telling me to dance more enthusiastically." Daniel Buey and I also met at a bar. That day, he was entertaining a client and someone drugged his drink. I happened to walk past and he pinned me against the wall asking for help. His face was flushed and the top 2 buttons of his shirt were undone, revealing his toned muscles. I had to admit he had a great physique. "Help me." He grasped my hand and put it into his pants pocket. Now I noticed an object, his phone. Sorry, at that moment, my thoughts really went astray. "Call the police for me, I'll pay you 20,000 yuan. The drug took effect very quickly. In just a moment, it could make someone lose consciousness. I called both the police and an ambulance, took him to the hospital, and even stayed by his side to watch over him. I had no other choice as he hadn't paid me yet. Fortunately, he was straightforward. He paid me as soon as he woke up. Seeing the decisive way he handed over the money, I guessed he wasn't short on cash. A bold idea flashed through my mind. "Boss, do you need someone good at drinking to accompany you? I can do that. Not only do I drink well, but I can also stand on a barrel and drink." At first, he didn't believe me, But at that time, all the clients were very heavy drinkers. Both he and his assistant couldn't handle it anymore. And so, it was my turn to show my prowess. On my first day, I took down 4 big clients, consuming 4 bottles of liquor, 16 beers, and various fruit wines. I only visited the restroom once, and that was to meet the bar manager. I brought clients to you and helped you sell a bunch of alcohol like this. How about it? The manager immediately transferred money to me, just as Daniel Buey caught sight of it. You earned double the money in just one night? Why would I be shy about making money? After that, thanks to my alcohol tolerance, Daniel Buey signed quite a few lucrative contracts. But now I was also a person with money. I was about to spend lavishly to support a male model. The handsome young man, seeing me preparing to take out money, immediately moved closer. Just as his hand was about to touch mine, a chilling voice rang out from behind us. Having fun? Daniel Buey had entered the room without me noticing, his cold expression making everyone turn pale. The young man standing next to me trembled. Chloe Buey immediately blocked me, asking what he intended to do. The young man also mustered his courage and tightly held my hand. She finds me interesting, that's why she kept me here. Dare to repeat that? Immediately, he fell silent under Daniel's menacing gaze, hastily released my hand, and ran off. Sorry, sister, we're not compatible. Only the 3 of us remained in the room. Chloe Buey nudged my shoulder. Don't back down, say something. What should I say now? I thought for a moment, then cheerfully blurted out, You look so handsome when you're cold-faced. After all, Daniel Buey was far different from the CEO image I had imagined. Though handsome, he was very approachable, always smiling and cheerful. It was rare to see him so cold, and seeing him like that almost awakened all my strange hobbies. Chloe Buey glared at me angrily, then pulled me away. On the way, she scolded me for being spineless. Why do you always go soft whenever you see Daniel Buey? Even if you two used to be together, there's no chance now. Don't love blindly and don't let men deceive you. I've known him for years, I know him best. He's not a good person. I suddenly smelled the scent of gossip. Could he have multiple personality disorder? No. So, does he have a white moonlight or a cinnabar mole that he only came to me to use as a substitute? Chloe Buey looked awkward. It doesn't seem to be the case. As far as I know, before you came along, there wasn't a single woman by his side. We even thought he changed his taste. But she warned me that wasn't a reason to love blindly. As a woman, the most important thing is to focus on one's career. Therefore, she arranged for me to have a job at the company. But before starting, I wanted to visit my familiar old home. My biological parents had sent money to express their gratitude to my foster parents for the long time they had taken care of me. They also gifted my foster parents a new house. However, my foster parents still chose to stay in the old house. Located in an old residential complex, the house had 3 bedrooms and a living room. As soon as I stepped inside, I heard my mother's shout. Vanessa comes home later, can you put this away, dear? Hearing that, I was immediately moved, recalling the years they had raised me. Who knew Mom would add, when she comes back and sees this chicken drumstick, she'll fight me for it. Give it here, I'll eat it first. Oh right, I almost forgot. My family has a tradition. No matter how difficult things are, we never let ourselves suffer. So since childhood, dishes like stewed chicken and drumsticks were always a scramble. Whoever was quickest got it. Chloe Buey, who was with me, heard this and gripped my hand tightly. Sister, you've suffered so much, how do I explain this? It's not what you think, sister. I led her into the house, and Mom even brought out many photos of me from when I was little. Chloe Buey watched, her eyes welling up. You look exactly like Dad when he was a child. Stop talking, sister, my blood pressure is rising. I looked into the kitchen and saw my parents bustling around, an indescribable wave of emotion rising in my heart. Why don't Mom and Dad move to the new house? Your dad said there's no hurry. You've lived in this house since you were little, there are so many memories. I felt choked up. Seeing the flower vase slightly askew, I reached out to adjust it. To my surprise, the moment I touched it, I discovered a secret. Inside the vase, it was filled with money. My dad rushed over in a panic and hugged the vase tightly. Don't tell anyone, okay? Dad will split half with you. No wonder my dad wasn't in a hurry to move. It turns out he hadn't had time to find a new hiding spot for his secret stash. With my mom's personality, moving house would definitely involve very thorough cleaning. At that point, all his hidden money would be exposed. Dad begged me not to reveal it, then pulled my hand, urging me to eat dinner. During the meal, I looked around and asked, Where's Leo Lynn? My brother has been in a bad mood lately. Hearing you're coming home, he's not coming back today. Chloe Buey, sitting next to me, furrowed her brow so hard you could practically pinch a fly between them. How old is your brother? Does he often fight with you over things? He's in high school now, and sometimes we do fight. Even chicken drumsticks are fought over in my family, so that's just how our family is. As I was about to leave, I coincidentally met Leo Lin downstairs. The moment he saw me, he glared and sneered, "So you know your way home, huh? I thought you were enjoying your new life so much." Immediately, Chloe Buey stood in front of me. "Calm down, don't worry, I'll protect you. Things aren't what you think. Actually, you guys, I've already found new parents. What right do I have to come back here? Just disappear, don't ever come back." Having said that, he stormed upstairs angrily. Chloe Buey gritted her teeth in frustration. "What kind of attitude is that? He's just jealous because you're doing better now?" No, he doesn't need me by his side. You've suffered a lot before. Don't worry, my sister and I will make it up to you later." She pulled me back to the house and began planning to get me a job at the company. "Later, you'll become a powerful businesswoman, driving a fancy car past that kid, and he'll be dumbfounded." I just mumbled in agreement, my fingers still texting Leo Lin, but the message only showed a red exclamation mark. This kid blocked me, huh? Well, then my debt of over $2 million is gone, I guess. Chloe Buey took me to the company and arranged for me to be Daniel Buey's assistant. "Didn't you tell me not to fall in love blindly and stay away from him?" She patted my head, her eyes full of sympathy. "You've never worked in an office before, have you? You'll understand after a while. Falling for your boss is impossible. I only want to crush him." This tactic was truly insidious. Like in school when teachers deliberately seated two students who liked each other next to each other, within a week, they'd be arguing fiercely. On my first day, Daniel Buey gave me a thick stack of documents. "You have to memorize all of this, and I'm also planning to send you to an additional financial management course." I was completely devastated, because in college, I actually majored in financial management. Only after graduation did I realize it was a death trap. Big companies required connections, small companies offered no future. The only thing I had ever managed was my $3 million monthly salary when I first started working. All morning, I diligently read about the company's formation and development, as well as its financial data. At lunchtime, Chloe Buey took me to eat. I plopped down on a chair, tears streaming down my face. "I just be a rich young lady who just spends money, please?" "No," she pulled me to my feet. "Remember this, true happiness only comes when power is in your own hands. Don't believe those cliché romance novel tropes. Those big sisters, who advise the female lead to just fall in love and ditch the company, are actually just afraid of losing their own positions. Moreover, once you have the opportunity to join the board of directors, you must seize more decision-making power to help more people." So she not only pushed me to study but also dragged me to shareholder meetings in the afternoon. "Later, after lunch, remember to review the company's quarterly financial report, okay? Memorize the important figures so you're not flustered in the meeting. I'll help you." I chewed on a chicken drumstick, mumbling, "Done already." She paused for a moment. "That fast?" Actually, in school, if I wasn't top of the class, I was at least in the top 3. I was even an exemplary student when I graduated. If I really put my mind to it, no one can beat me. Faced with her surprised gaze, I could only give a wry smile. Like, I complain to death whenever I face difficulties, but I don't actually die. It's just for fun. She still looked half believing, half doubting. "You're so smart, why did you still let that Daniel Buey trick you?" Just as she finished speaking, Daniel Buey stood right behind her. "Sister, this is a public place, don't badmouth me." She ignored him, pulled my hand, and bombarded me with questions. "Did he see you were young and pretty and force you to be his mistress? Did he use any dirty tricks? Tell me, I want to know." The barrage of questions left me speechless. Daniel Buey lightly kicked my leg under the table. "Aren't you going to clear my name? Otherwise, I could jump into the Yellow River and still not wash away the rumors." "There's nothing to it. We just had a monetary transaction, that's all. At first, I only helped him drink with clients. But the other day, he drove me home. Downstairs, he suddenly said, 'Vanessa Lynn, do you want to be by my side?'" My eyes widened, my heart pounding. No wonder he'd been acting strange lately, no longer taking me to meet clients, and if he did, he'd watch over my drinking, afraid I'd get drunk. It turns out he wanted to use my labor for free. "Are you trying to renege on payment? Don't think a few sweet words will make me drink with clients for free." "No, I didn't mean that. How could I not pay you?" "So, how much?" He furrowed his brow slightly, seeming to sense something was off but couldn't articulate it. I earn 1 million a month. Is giving it all to you enough? Yes, I agree. Someone who gives up their entire salary to support a mistricide never met such a person. This CEO really had resources. That night, I suddenly woke up startled. Something wasn't right, but I quickly sighed and let it go. A girlfriend needs to actively give and cultivate love from both sides. As a gold digger, I didn't need to worry about spending money. Anyway, love is unpredictable. Choosing a simple, comfortable life is better. After I spoke, Chloe Buey stood silent, eyes wide, looking at me, then at him. Daniel Buey could only shrug helplessly. At first, I thought she wanted to play the CEO and sugar baby game, who knew she was serious. During my first week at the company, I had to familiarize myself with the business situation and learn management. By Friday, I had to submit a report to him. He had just finished entertaining clients and was busy processing documents in his office. Thanks to the large glass window, the office was brightly lit, and the sunlight highlighted his silhouette. Already handsome, working with his head bowed made people's hearts flutter even more. I stared at him blankly, unable to stop myself from saying, "You don't really need to work this hard, you know. Isn't the sun hot shining in like that? Knowing is enough, why bother saying it?" He glanced at me, then pressed a button to lower the blinds. Knowing I liked it that way, but he didn't need to try so hard. I placed my hand on his shoulder, feeling the warmth through his shirt. I didn't know how long he'd been standing there. "It seems I overestimated your laziness. It's just one report, and it's taking you this long to write." He took my hand and kissed it lightly, intending to pull me closer, but I quickly dodged. "Have you forgotten what we are now, brother?" The smile on his lips immediately vanished. "I've never seen you as my sister. Besides, we're not blood-related. But now we're considered family, aren't we? It's true that transforming from lovers to siblings should absolutely not happen. Are you trying to dump me?" His finger lightly brushed across my palm, sending an electric shiver through me. To be honest, Daniel Buey was perfect in every way, gentle, generous, and with an ideal physique. When we were dating, he'd often send suggestive photos to tease me, truly a generous bodhisattva. "I've been hitting the gym a lot lately. Want to feel my abs?" His voice deepened, and just hearing it was enough to make one's thoughts wander. Just as I was about to give in and reach out my hand, there was a knock on the door. "General Manager Buey, Miss Sophia Song is here and insists on seeing you." Not seeing her. He refused decisively, intending to put his hand on my waist, but I evaded. "She's already here, it would be strange not to see her. Let me go talk to her then. After all, I've already reviewed the client documents, and the Song family is still cooperating with the company." I opened the door and stepped out. The moment she saw me, Sophia Song glared. "Vanessa Lynn, why are you here? Trying to pull your seductive tricks on Daniel Buey again?" "No, that's not it at all. Our relationship isn't what you think." "What? Don't think you can fool me. I know what you want." I almost forgot. I was an expert at irritating Sophia Song. She had known Daniel Buey for a long time and always showed hostility towards any woman who appeared by his side. The first time Daniel Buey introduced me to his friends, Sophia Song was among them. She took advantage of him going to the restroom to attack me. "Hey, a woman like you, if there's money involved, you'll do anything, won't you?" As she spoke, she threw a stack of money on the table. "Take off your clothes, I'll give you 10,000. Some tried to intervene, others just watched the show. She looked down at me with contempt. I looked at the stack of money and shook my head slightly. If she used this money to ask me to stay away from Daniel Buey, I might have to consider it. But now, fine, I'll start stripping. Remember to count carefully, I won't cheat. That day happened to be early spring, and it was still chilly, and I'm very sensitive to the cold. So I stood up and started taking off my scarf, hat, earmuffs, jacket, sweater, padded jacket, thermal shirt. Oh, right, do fake hair and fake nails count? As a result, that day I extorted over 300,000 from Sophia Song. She was so furious her face turned pale and her lips trembled. From then on, our feud was officially established. So every time she encountered me, she wouldn't hesitate to hurl insults. "You shameless, thick-skinned woman, how dare you show your face at the company? I don't know what kind of family you come from to raise someone like you. Do you have an opinion about my parents?" "HMPH, no need to say, I already know what kind of people your parents are." I noticed the elevator behind her had just arrived. The elevator doors opened, and Chloe Buey stepped out. I tried to suppress my smile and continued. "Oh, you're so smart, then tell me, what kind of people are they? Just look at your brazen face, and you know your parents didn't get a proper education, only know how to fawn, and probably have a lot of illnesses, so they didn't have time to discipline you." Miss Song, do you have an opinion about her biological parents? Chloe Buey approached with a cold expression, shielding me behind her. I thought Sophia Song treated everyone the same, bullying anyone. Who knew she clearly discriminated, because when faced with Chloe Buey, she immediately put on a fake smile. Sister Chloe, I was just teaching her a lesson. How could you understand her true character? I think I understand her better than you do. After all, Vanessa is from our family. Hearing this, Sophia Song panicked. Could it be that he's already introduced her to the family? No, the truth is No. Daniel Buey absolutely cannot be with a woman like this. I will never accept it. She screamed, then turned and walked away, muttering, I'll never come to this company again, and I don't want to see any of you. I was overjoyed, immediately running into Daniel Buey's office, holding out my hand and demanding payment. Mission accomplished perfectly, pay me now. Before, when I asked him why he hadn't dated anyone for years, he just sighed and replied, because Sophia Song wouldn't allow it. That's when I realized she truly had psychological issues. It wasn't a joke. Even stranger, she saw Daniel Buey as an emotional crutch, causing her to despise any woman who got close to him. Just now, she even said she wouldn't want to see us again in the future. Wasn't I amazing? You're good, but I still have one thing to ask. Go ahead. Are you really without any feelings for me? Is it just about money? It's not entirely without feelings, but compared to money, feelings aren't worth much. For example, when he asked that just now, my first reaction was, this guy probably wants to renege on payment again. At first, I was happy to receive the money, but I had forgotten one thing. Sophia Song's family was a client of the company. Now that the client had left, the shareholders were enraged. They held a board meeting and immediately turned to criticize us. Currently, the company has lost an important client, all because of someone's personal emotions. I glared back. If you don't like it, just say it directly. Dare to name me. The last time, when Chloe Buey proposed in a meeting that female employees were not required to wear high heels or heavy makeup for work, the old shareholders disagreed. I even dared to argue back. They said high heels looked more professional. I immediately placed several pairs of size 45 shoes right in front of them. Here, gentlemen, try them on and see the professionalism. Take a few bold steps. They then said, makeup helps female employees look fresher. I immediately handed each of them a mirror. Gentlemen, look at your potbellies and bald heads. Going out, you not only damage the company's image but also make others mistake this for a weight loss gym, perhaps. This remark angered the group, and from then on, they always looked annoyed when they saw me. I thought at this point we needed to appease the client. Whoever caused the problem should solve it. How about General Manager Buey goes to apologize to Miss Song directly? Daniel Buey's face was ice cold. Before he could say anything, I quickly spoke up. It seems Your Honor has a lot of experience in coaxing women, don't you? So, why don't you go? What are you joking about? I'm over 50 years old. Miss Song wouldn't even pay attention to me. Who knows, maybe her mother would be interested. At this age, you're still dashing, and CEO Buey is so handsome, people might even think our company offers escort services. But if these ugly, fat old men put up an advertisement, no one would believe it's real. Chloe Buey, sitting next to me, covered her mouth, shaking with laughter. Provoked by me, the shareholders angrily walked out of the meeting, leaving a final warning before they left. If this client is lost, you must find a new one, or we will consider replacing the chairman. No, to keep the chairman position for my father, I absolutely had to secure a contract. So, I spent 3 days searching and found a client whose contract was due for renewal. Immediately, I rushed to their company and applied for a security guard job. After half a month, I got hold of the director's schedule and finally blocked his car on his way to meet a partner. I pretended to trip in front of his car. Are you all right? The valuable client anxiously got out to check. I tremblingly pulled a contract from inside my jacket. CEO Wang, it's time to renew the contract. He looked dejected. Today I'm meeting another company. I want to see their prices before deciding. Don't worry, it's very likely the two sides won't reach an agreement. Before he could ask why, he received a phone call. What? No longer discussing cooperation just because the money plant died and it brings bad luck? What a strange reason. Fine, no cooperation. I immediately presented the contract. He signed it without hesitation. I secretly gave myself a thumbs up. Indeed, my previous request to work as a cleaner was not in vain. I watered the money plant with boiling water every day and finally managed to kill it. This director was very superstitious, and that money plant was something he had brought back from abroad. said to have been blessed and consecrated, usually treasured like a flower or jade. CEO Wang, you truly have a discerning eye. Deciding to cooperate with our company is absolutely correct. He glanced at the security guard uniform I was wearing, not only not angry but smiling. A company that possesses talent like you will surely flourish. I grew even more smug. Of course, if I hadn't offended my superior back then, I wouldn't have been unemployed at home to the point of getting shoulder arthritis. Even before graduating, I had received a job offer from a renowned financial investment company in the industry. Everything started very smoothly. I even thought climbing to the peak of my career was only a matter of time. Who knew my boss would take me out drinking and then try to enforce unspoken rules? I didn't hesitate. I grabbed the wine bottle and smashed it directly onto his head. As a result, I was immediately fired. Not only that, he also blacklisted me in the industry, causing all my job interviews to fail. I was forced to stay home for 2 months, developing a series of illnesses. Finally, I had to find a job as an atmosphere enhancer. And then I met Daniel Buie. I met him when I was at my most desperate, my wallet almost empty. I heard that just by calling the police, I could get 20,000 yuan. I immediately had an idea. Finding such a foolish and rich boss, I absolutely had to cling to him. As I said, I asked if he needed someone to drink on his behalf, and he agreed. At first, I truly had no intentions with him. He was the one who actively asked if I wanted to take things further. After I probed him repeatedly, he stammered that someone was clinging to him, hoping I would drive them away. At a party I attended with Daniel Buie, I unexpectedly ran into my old boss. He looked surprised to see me dressed elegantly. Vanessa Lin, I thought you were a person of integrity. Of course, what's similar about being with a handsome man and an ugly old man? I'm not so desperate that I'd just eat and drink anything. My old boss gritted his teeth in anger. He took advantage of me going to the restroom and ran to badmouth me to Daniel Buie. When I returned, I saw him whispering to Daniel Buie. CEO Buie, I'm sure you don't know what kind of person she is. Her personal life is very promiscuous, you should be careful. Who knew that people with money now had so much free time? If they couldn't have something, they'd try to ruin it, right? I didn't mean anything else, I just blurted it out. CEO Buie, please don't take it to heart. Daniel Buie drained his glass of wine, his tone indifferent. Rest assured, I never bother with dog barking. Witnessing my old boss's unsightly expression, my heart suddenly felt much happier. Who knew that just a month later, my old boss was discovered to have leaked client information while in office and was immediately fired. Hearing this news, I was so delighted I wanted to jump up and dance. That afternoon, I told Daniel Buie about it, probing to see if he knew anything. He wrapped his arm around my waist, his other hand gently placing a stack of documents under a pile of files. Really? I didn't pay much attention, but if you hate him, do you want to go mock him a bit? How could I pass up such a good opportunity? In that moment, I truly understood what it meant to be a fox borrowing a tiger's might. The car stopped in front of my old company's gate. From a distance, I saw my old boss struggling out, carrying a box of belongings. I heard that many clients wanted to sue him, leaving him with a huge debt. Before I could even think of a sarcastic remark, he ran towards us. But the person he sought wasn't me, it was Daniel Buie. CEO Buie, I've never done anything to offend you. Why are you treating me this way? Can't we talk? Daniel Buie's only response was to silently close the car door and drive off, leaving a cloud of smoke behind. In a good mood, I had a few extra drinks that night. On the way home, the car drove slowly, the fragrance inside mixing with the music, making me feel drowsy. I looked out the window, then unconsciously shifted my gaze to the glass, watching Daniel Buie's face. You didn't believe what my old boss said, did you? Even though those rumors clearly sounded false, at many parties, men like to belittle women to seek approval. Even knowing it's wrong, the moment they utter those words, their contemptuous smiles and mocking glances are nothing short of a form of psychological violence. You are right in front of me, I don't need to hear what others say to understand you. The saying, a dog relies on its home, a chicken relies on its coop, might be true in many cases. My nose suddenly stung. Saying I didn't care was, of course, a lie. Since childhood, I had always strived for the #1 position. After graduating, I started working at a leading investment company. I once thought my beautiful life had just begun, but then I was easily pushed into the abyss. The car stopped in front of my house, but he still had no intention of letting me out. Do you want to cry in the car for a while or cry when you get home? I sniffled, opening the car door to step out, but he suddenly called out, Vanessa, if there's anything bothering you, just tell me directly. He got out of the car and stood in front of me. The night wind ruffled my hair. I vaguely saw a glimmer of genuine emotion in his eyes. If you stay silent, I'll think you don't like me, you know. At first, I was going to tell you that Daniel, I hastily interrupted. I'm tired tonight. After saying, see you tomorrow, I turned and walked towards the house, but my steps felt heavier than I expected. But immediately, hurried footsteps sounded behind me. He hugged me tightly from behind. Why? Don't be like this or I'll fall for you. Clearly, at first, I had thought it through very carefully. We were just a monetary transaction. Am I not good enough? Not worthy of your affection? I gritted my teeth, deciding to take a gamble. So what if I like you? Is there a future for us? Are you going to introduce me to your parents? Why not? And then he actually took me to meet his parents. I thought they would definitely dislike me, so I deliberately wore the ugliest clothes to show that I didn't care. Who knew his parents would become my parents? Fate truly loves to play tricks. I held the newly signed contract and threw it straight at the faces of the fake shareholders. That group immediately fell silent. Those who knew better eagerly started congratulating me. His parents also took this opportunity to announce our relationship. But before I could revel in my triumph for too long, someone on the internet spread rumors that I had abandoned my old family immediately after being reunited with my rich parents. They also accused me of bullying my younger brother in the past. Sophia Song constantly left malicious comments below. I can't believe she also wants to become a phoenix. It's a pity that an ungrateful and treacherous person like her will sooner or later face retribution. Even if she dons phoenix robes, she cannot hide the scent of poverty on her. How pitiful for her younger brother. He was bullied by an older sister who was not blood-related since childhood. If I hadn't heroically exposed her, everyone would have been deceived. As soon as they received the news, my parents immediately hired public relations to mitigate the impact of the scandal. Chloe Buey paced anxiously in the room. That day, when I went to their house, I saw that her brother wasn't a good sort. Let me go teach him a lesson. I quickly stopped her. I caused this, I'll deal with it myself. Before I left, I deliberately went to the garden to find a very flexible branch. That Daniel Buey insisted on following me. Ever since our parents clarified my identity, his expression hadn't brightened at all. My foster parents rarely used the internet, so they were completely unaware of the online issues. When they saw me come home, they still greeted me warmly. Vanessa, why are you carrying a stick? Sister needs it. Where's Leo Lin? He's in his room. Leo Lin, your sister's home, aren't you going to come out? There was no answer from the room for a long time, so I opened the door and went in. Leo Lin was sitting in front of the computer, and the screen still displayed news about me. After we stared at each other for a few seconds, I locked the door, raised the rattan cane, and lashed out fiercely. You brat, all those years I loved you, was it all for nothing? From childhood to adulthood, whatever you did, I was always there to take care of it. Even the money for your Ultraman cards came from me. It'd be strange if I didn't beat you to death. Don't even think about running. He ran around the room to avoid my blows. I chased after him, almost out of breath. Seeing me about to run out of energy, he trembled and held out his hand. Then hit me, sister, but only once. What? Are you crazy? I threw the rattan cane aside and slapped his hand. Why did you slander your sister? That woman wanted to find bad things about you, so she gave me a lot of money. Then what? How am I supposed to explain this now? Do you have any evidence? He turned and opened a drawer, pulling out a voice recorder, a small camera, and a USB drive. Everything I said when we met is here, and there are messages on the USB too. I turned on the voice recorder, and Sophia Song's voice clearly rang out. Look, Vanessa Lin is living so comfortably now. Does she still care about you guys? Don't you want revenge on her? As long as she's full of scandals, the Buey family won't accept her anymore. She'll be ruined, and you can trample all over her. Leo Lin leaned back on the bed, furrowing his brow. So, you're saying I have no interest in trampling on you? If you dare try to trample on me, you're dead. Mom and Dad won't let you off either. Last time we met, why were you so annoyed that you even blocked me? He and I were originally very close siblings. When he was little, he loved collecting Ultraman cards. I even used my scholarship money to buy them for him. Once, I had a high fever. Mom and Dad weren't home. He hugged all his Ultraman cards, ran, and tearfully traded them with a friend to get fever medicine for me. Even later, when I was unemployed, he comforted me, told me to go out and have fun, and gave me all his saved allowance. Do you know how sad I was when I saw you blocked my number? He turned his face away, burying his head in his arms for a long time before choking out. But did you ever think about how heartbroken I was when I found out you had left? Mom and Dad knew you weren't their biological child, but I had no idea. In my heart, you were always my only sister. Yet, in the end, you just left, never to come back. You even said you had a new family, so what about us? I walked over, gently patted his shoulder, and saw the photo of us from when we were kids still on his bedside table. All right, it's all my fault. I'm sorry, kid. How could I ever forget you? I know you've always wanted to study computer science abroad. I've already asked someone to write a letter of recommendation, and I'll provide you with money for your studies, okay? He remained silent, not answering, just quietly turning his face away, his eyes already red. After that, he told me to quickly resolve the online uproar. I used the messages and the recording as evidence and immediately provided them to the media for publication to clarify everything. It was all a self-directed play by Sophia Song. Immediately, her parents hastily brought people to apologize. We are so sorry, we did not raise our daughter properly. Sophia's mental state has not been stable lately. My parents stepped forward to shield me, questioning them on how they intended to resolve this matter. Sophia Song's parents remained silent for a while, then gritted their teeth and said, "We will send Sophia to a mental hospital for treatment." Hearing this, Sophia Song was so frightened she collapsed to the ground. "No, are you abandoning me, Mom and Dad? Just because you have another daughter, you're abandoning me? I don't agree. We're doing this for your own good. Look at how many problems you've caused over the past few years. You have to think about your parents too. Your brother still has to inherit the company. The company cannot have a blemish on its name. Your younger brother is still in school. What will his friends think? And what about you? Can you be so easily discarded?" Tears streamed down her face as she repeatedly shook her head. But this time, her indulgent parents no longer gave in. She was taken to a mental hospital for treatment. The online controversies about me were also gradually clarified. It seemed everything had settled down smoothly. Except for Daniel Buey, everyone noticed he was very agitated. Even the dog in the house kept its distance, not daring to approach his aura of negativity. I decided to meet him to talk things through. We went to the familiar park where we often strolled after dinner, enjoying the night breeze. Daniel Buey usually told me about what happened at work, but this time he was unusually silent. "You seem very sad. Is there really no tomorrow for us?" He gently lowered his head, looking at me, his eyes filled with extreme suffering and torment. "Today marks 1 year since we met. It was on this day last year that I met him, and my life changed completely." Finally, he forced a wry smile. "Yes, that day I almost lost my innocence. To be honest, when I asked for your help, I already regretted it. You kept staring at my chest. Well, I thought you had a great physique. What's wrong with admiring it for a bit? From now on, there won't be any more opportunities to admire it." His words made the smile on my lips vanish. "If things really come to that, we can only go back to being acquaintances. I can't bear not seeing you, nor can I accept you finding someone else." So many words choked in my throat, my lips trembled as I softly asked, "So, what should we do? Do you love me? Right now, I only need this answer." Love. This time, I was completely sure of my answer. "Daniel Buey, I love you, and no one can ever replace you." He let out a sigh of relief. We hugged each other tightly and shared a kiss. In that kiss, there was the salty taste of tears. That night, the sky was pitch black, as if we couldn't see our future. "Vanessa, trust me to resolve this, okay?" His solution was to publicly announce our relationship to our parents and simultaneously terminate the adopted child relationship. Clearly, both parents seemed hesitant. "Have you two really thought this through? How will outsiders view you? You'll face a lot of gossip." "Yes, we've thought it through," Daniel Buey answered decisively. He turned to look at me, his eyes brimming with joy. "I am certain that I must be with her." This time, both of us were ready. For each other, we would be brave once, even if it meant risking everything. We had to achieve a beautiful outcome.